Hey world, this is your girl Dr. MV, and you have just tuned in to WGSN-DB Going Solo After Dark Radio. Listen, I am your host, Dr. Michelle Vaughn, and this is my show, Singles Get Real. So tonight we are going to talk about a purpose-driven life. We're going to talk about what does that mean to have a purpose-driven life. If you're in a relationship, is it a purposeful relationship? If you're not in a relationship, before you get in a relationship, do you even know your purpose? So listen, this applies to singles, it applies to single parents, especially single parents, because not only do you have to focus on you have to make a decision for your kids. So if y'all don't mind, I'm just going to flow tonight. I just want to kind of just communicate about this entire topic on what is my purpose. So many people, they walk around every single day and they don't even know their purpose. And it's kind of sad. Because oftentimes, if you look at, mainstream TV and media, etc., you will be convinced that your purpose has everything to do with getting money. And that has nothing to do with your creational purpose. Getting money, anybody can get out there and go get money. Money is all around us. It's everywhere. It's attainable. It's reachable. You can achieve it. You can go grab money. But when it comes to knowing your creational purpose, and I want to tap into that a little bit tonight, your creational purpose, that's a whole different topic. Your creational purpose, and I've been reading the book A Purpose-Driven Life by Mr. Rick Warren, and I'm telling you, that book is really highlighting some things for me personally as I continue to develop intentionally as a woman. I want to make sure that while I am living, moving, and breathing, that my dash counts. That my dash matters. You know what I mean? So it's important to me that my life is intentional. That I don't just kind of just wally through life and just, whatever happens, happens. You only live once, et cetera, et cetera. To me, that's not a purpose-driven mind. That's a lazy mind. And if you're seeking a relationship and you don't have purpose or you don't know your purpose and you're not leading a life of intentionality, you're not going to find someone who can complement your destiny. And that's just real talk. Listen, I'm not talking down to anybody. I have been in some relationships where I thought that he was the one. I did. I thought he was the one. I thought he was God sent. I thought, we just going to go off and be happy together. But at the end of the day, as time, my mother always says, baby, time will reveal itself. Time will reveal and tell the true character of a thing. Your mouth don't have to do it. You don't have to say anything. But if you allow time to do what it do, it reveals the character of an individual. It reveals the content of a situation. That's what time does. So we got to stop rushing into things, and we got to learn how to appreciate one of the greatest gifts that we have been offered is time. And we got to allow time to allow things to manifest itself on their own. We can't push people to love us. You can't make somebody be faithful to you. You can't make somebody love your kids how you love them. You have to allow time to reveal the heart of a matter. And so even within yourself, you will begin to find out as you go through different relationships more about yourself than the person that you're dating. More about your tolerance level. More about your patience level. More about your temperance. You know what I mean? So relationships that do a mirror reflection on our character, or if we are stunted in our growth and our development mentally or spiritually. So at the end of the day, what is your purpose? People, we got to know. Listen, I discovered that there is a total difference between your purpose, knowing what your creational purpose is, and then following your dream. You feel what I'm saying? So you can literally follow your dream and set goals and fulfill your dream that has nothing to do with your creational purpose. If your dream is to own a yacht and purchase a yacht and go and sail into the seas, if that's your dream and you go ahead and you attain that dream, you purchase that yacht, you save your money, do whatever you got to do, and you get that yacht and you go out into the seas, you have just fulfilled your dream. But that has nothing to do with your creational purpose. And so what I want to highlight in this particular podcast tonight, and I know my show is about, singles, get real with Dr. MV, but hey, this applies to everybody today. It's a lot going on in the world, so I want to talk about purpose. It's my show. That's what I want to talk about. So you got to bear with me. So I believe that everything created, from the birds to the fish to the animals to the unknown creatures in the sea, that they all have been created with such intentional purpose. It will behoove us not to take a moment in our lives to discover why we were created individually, and a part of that creation, how can we add value to the human race, to the world that we're living in? How can my life add value to the human race today? What was I created to do that no one else can do but me? Why is my fingerprint the only fingerprint like I have? How come no one else fingerprint can be duplicated like mine? Because we have a unique creational purpose. In this book that I'm reading by Rick Warren, I charge you to go grab it, A Purpose-Driven Life. He talks about your purpose was created and started with God. Period, point blank. Listen, it matters not how much science you put to it, because our minds are limited in our logical understanding. I have a doctoral degree. I did a lot of research in my particular area of focus. But that has nothing, listen, that's just touching a little scratch of the surface of the information that's out there. And so I don't get so haughty and caught up in my limited knowledge that I think that I'm God, because I'm not. Now, I do believe in God. I believe that there's one God. I believe that there's one creational God who created all things. That's my belief. That's what I stand on. That's who I represent. And I also believe that we came from him. I believe that because we came from him, he had intentions about our creation. His Bible talks about how he even knew us before we were even selected to be in our mother's wombs. So at the end of the day, we can't walk around earth aimlessly, not knowing our creational purpose. I know my purpose. My purpose is to add value to human beings by speaking words of life, by helping people move forward in their life, helping them understand that there's greater than just, being stagnant in life, empowering people to lead the greatest lives that they possibly can. That's my purpose. Now, how that purpose is played out, now that's called a roadmap. That's called a roadmap. And this is why we cannot get sidetracked by looking in at the left and to your right, at the woman to the left. Oh, she got a nice relationship. Oh, it appears that her husband loves her. Oh, they got a nice house. Oh, they have a nice car. Oh, they go on vacations every summer. Oh, they're so happy. You don't know that. They could be miserable, but they can be fulfilling some dreams because they have the finances to do so. You can be rich and miserable. Let me say that again. You can be rich and miserable. You can be married and miserable. Because two people connect and their hearts are not connected. Just because a man says, I do to you, that doesn't mean that his heart is given to you. Just because a woman says, I do to you, that doesn't mean that her heart is given to you. People have their ulterior motives. Everyone who says, I do, is not meant to be married. Yes, I said that. Because God does not put everybody together. Some people we yoke ourselves up with, and then we want to put God in it. And God is like, no, I'm not in that. I didn't even match y'all. I didn't do the matchmaker on this one. You did that. I told you, I gave you 1,000 red flags, but because you was hard-headed and you liked how he looked, I gave you all these other, and you ignored me. So you want to sit up here and say, I do, and include me in it. I'm not in it, God is saying. That's you in it. And so we have to take ownership, people, and responsibility for our own decisions. See, one thing God does not do, he does not tamper with our free will. And a lot of people say, well, how come God, if God is real, this and that, how come he allow evil, da-da-da-da. Listen, God never intended, read the book of Genesis. Before the fall came, just read. He planted us in a great situation. We were planted in a great scenario. But he does not tamper with our free will. He wants us to love him on our own and obey him on our own, be faithful to him on our own, just as we expect our boyfriend, our girlfriend, our fiance, our husband, our wife to be faithful to us. We just blow up if somebody cheat on us. We blow up if somebody just lied to us. Why do we tend to do that and think God shouldn't give us a pass? We're hypocrites. And yes, I'm going in on this podcast because a lot of things irritate me when it comes to us human beings giving God a measuring stick as it relates to how he should feel about us. He's already merciful. He's already graceful. He's already forgiving and loving. But we expect God to just take all of our mess. But we can't take no mess from somebody else who do us wrong. We don't want to forgive. We don't want to forget. Listen, forgiveness and forgetting go hand in hand. Listen, you can't be in a relationship with somebody and they do you dirty, and they do you dirty, and you say, and they ask for forgiveness, and you choose as an adult, you make a decision to forgive them and stay with them, but you choose not to forget, and you choose to bring that thing up back to them 3 months down the road in another situation that has nothing to do with it. That's not total forgiveness. Forgiveness is not a journey, it's instantaneously. You don't take your time to forgive somebody. You forgive them instantaneously. You treat people how you want to be treated in relationships. Otherwise, stay single. If you're going to sit up here and get in a relationship and act like you're still single, then you're a selfish human being. Why would you sit up here and bring someone into your space, especially if you have kids? Bring someone into your space, knowing that your mindset is still out in the clubs, you still out want to wild out, you still out want to go out with your boys, you still out want to go out with your girls. What's the purpose of being in a relationship then? We have to audit our actions, people. We have to take responsibility for our decisions. We have to take ownership for the people that we allow in our individual private space. Listen, oh my goodness, I'm trying to ease up, but I feel a shift in me. It's like things irritate me. And I had to learn a lot on my own. You know, I am not a perfect woman. I've had some situations where, no, God did not approve that, but you couldn't tell me. And so I had to deal with the outcome of those situations. That's why I wrote my recent book called Bride, Becoming Royal in Daddy's Eyes, which you can purchase on my website at drmv.net. So I'm not ashamed of it. That's just my journey. That's just my story. And I had to deal with it. But now I've dealt with that. I know more about me than I knew about me 4 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? So I believe in every situation, in every relationship that we allow ourselves to be involved in, if they do not work out for the good, because we always try to think good of the person we're with. You know, you're not going to just think bad of the person you will stay with, and then something's absolutely wrong with you. But I just believe that we need to audit the outcome of that situation. And we need to sit up here and you need to write down, okay, what were the pros of that? What was the cons of that? What were some things about me that was not so good? What were some things about me that I did do good that I didn't do before? Audit yourself. Don't just blame the other person. Oh, he's this, he's that. Oh, man, she's this, she's that. Well, what about you? Audit yourself, your own self-worth, your own growth. Listen, I put on my Facebook post, your self-worth is not connected to your net worth. You know, listen, your self-worth is not connected to your net worth. A lot of people, they look at people who got a lot of money and these guys driving these nice cars, NBA players, football players, all these women flocking to them because of their net worth, and they don't know anything about their character. They can be abusive behind closed doors and be rich outside in public eyes. They can buy you red bottom high heel shoes and they can beat your behind closed doors. Now, I'm not saying all professional athletes are like this, but there are some. And there are some who are in corporate America who are just the same. So don't try to get with an individual because of their net worth. You need to do more assessment about their self-worth. Now, that's some good talk right there. Listen, I'm about to go to a commercial break. And when I come back, we're going to continue this conversation. Be back soon, people.
Hi, this is Madam Coach Perea. Thank you for listening to this great show. I hope you stick around for Love and Pillow Talk.
Hey people, okay, so we're back. This is your girl, Dr. Michelle Vaughn, Dr. MV. You have just tuned in to WGSN-DB Radio, going solo after dark. We are talking about your purpose. We've talking about your purpose, and this is the second part of the show. And I want to share some things with you all from the book by Rick Warren called A Purpose-Driven Life. And I think these are good concepts for any human being. Matters not your religion, matters not where you stand in life. It's great for everybody. Everybody needs to know their value, their self-worth. You understand what I'm saying? Because if I were to give you between $100 bill and a dollar bill, and neither of them had a value to it, they would just be a piece of paper. And you don't want to walk around like a piece of paper without knowing your value. Let me share this with you guys from A Purpose-Driven Life. And these are just a couple of concepts. This is good. When you think about a relationship, when you think about being single, and are you really ready for a husband? Are you really ready for that wife, sir? Are you prepared? Do you know who you are? Do you know what you bring to the table? It has to be more than bacon. It has to be more than bacon. It has to be more than paying bills, because you would do those things if you wasn't in a relationship. You would bring yourself bacon. You would pay your own ComEd bill. You would pay your own rent. Why? Because you have to eat. Because you have to have a roof over your head. So that's not bringing anything outstanding to a relationship. That's a great bonus. But who you are, now that's a whole different topic. So we don't want to go into relationships not knowing our worth, not knowing who we are, and expecting another person to define that for us. And that's kind of where we get stuck. We don't know who we are, so we find ourselves connecting with another person who tells us who they think we are. And that has nothing to do with our creational purpose. If you don't know who you are, and a guy is telling you that some negative things about yourself, oh, you're nothing, you'll never be nothing, no one ever wants you, but he's still holding on to you, and you grab a hold to that as a truth, you just accepted a lie for your truth. You understand what I'm saying? So this purpose-driven life is going to allow you to inspect yourself and be intrusive with yourself in a very transparent way. So number one, he says in his book that many people are driven by guilt. They spend their entire lives running from regrets and hiding their shame. Many people. There was a point in my life where I was the same way. There's some things that we've done in our past that we are not proud of. And so you find yourself putting on the shame coat, and oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that, or I said that, and how could I do that? You know what I mean? And so if we don't begin to deal with this guilt, past shame, it will begin to deal with us. And you can't go into a relationship with the shame coat on, because that's not fair to the person who has already dealt with their shame and is ready for something healthy and is ready for something positive. You have to begin to deal with your past, or your past will deal with you. Number two, he says, many people are driven by resentment and anger. Oh my goodness. They hold on to hurts. I just talked about this in the first part of the show, and they never get over them. I'm going to say it again. Forgiveness and forgetting go hand in hand. I always ask God, when someone has offended me, when someone who I trusted has hurt me intentionally, Lord, please help me to forgive them. I forgive them, and help me to forget as if they've never done that to me before. Not that I'm going to be stupid, accept something like that again. It's just that I don't want to hold that to them as an eternal fault here on earth. I want to give them another opportunity to move forward. That doesn't mean we have to be best friends. It doesn't mean we have to be close again. It's just that I totally want to move forward for even my own sake. I don't want to be a prisoner within myself, and I don't want to hold prisoners in my spirit. So I got to release them. The other thing he talks about is many people are driven by fear. Their fears may be a result of a traumatic experience, unrealistic expectations, growing up in a high controlled home, or even genetic predisposition. Regardless of the cause, fear-driven people often miss great opportunities because they're afraid to venture out. Here we go with that success talk. Many people say, I want to be successful. Even Drake wrote a song about it. I want to be successful. At the end of the day, what is your success defined as? Is it getting money? We talked about that in the first part of the show. There's a difference between your creational purpose and fulfilling a dream. Success has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with knowing who you are. Many people are afraid to step out and do what they believe they're called to do because they're afraid to fail, not realizing that failing is intricate detail and intricate ingredient in becoming successful. You're going to have to fail. You got to get used to the fact that you will fail. Listen, I'm an entrepreneur, and failing is something that I told myself, Michelle, you have to get used to the concept of failing, not failing repetitively. Learning from that and moving forward, it builds your character. You don't want to walk around a weak person on the inside. You want to be able to overcome, persevere, go through some things. So you got to overcome that fear factor. Another thing, he says, many people are driven by materialism. We talked about this. These are surfacey type of things. Listen, clothes, homes, Bentleys, cars, yachts, clubs, vacation spots, timeshares, the tangible things where fire can burn them down, a thief can take them away from you, a robber can steal from you, has no value to anybody. It adds no value to you. It's like a car, it depreciates. It adds no value. Your net worth is not your self-worth. Remember, I said that in the first part of the show. But many people get so caught up in the glitz and the glamour that we tend to lean towards the material things that kind of just blind us. And now we think that's our self-worth. And we treat these stars who have all these material possessions as if they're gods because of their wealth. Who cares about their wealth? And I'm not talking bad about anybody. I'm just saying we're all human. We're all human. You have a different profession. Some people are on TV, some people are in magazines, some people we see all the time. Some people are on main stages and speaking in big auditoriums. Some people have different professions. Some people are working, driving buses. Some people are bagging your groceries. Some people are counting your money. But we're all human. And it matters not if you have more clothes than I do. You're not more worthy than I am. You got to know who you are and your creational purpose. You can't be so focused on material things. Another thing, many people are driven by the need for approval. Oh, here we go. I can't do this unless, or how are they going to feel about me? How is this guy going to feel about me? Did he give me a compliment? How many likes did he give me on my Facebook post? How many likes did he give me on my Instagram post? How many likes is he following me over here on Twitter? You so caught up in his approval and you never had one conversation with him. Listen, we got to get beyond man-made approval systems. And you got to begin to approve yourself. Put a stamp on yourself. Said, I'm self-approved. I'm God-approved. I know my creational purpose. I don't need no other human being who may be lost, who may not know their creational purpose to tell me what mine is or to validate my self-worth. You don't give people that much power. No. We don't do that, people. Listen, I want to, man, this show, I was kind of all over the place, but at the end of the day, I think it would do us all some good to know our purpose. The book says nothing matters more than knowing God's purpose for your life, and nothing can compensate for not knowing. Don't walk around on this planet with the blank mind of not knowing who you are and expect to get in a relationship that's meaningful, that's healthy, that's prospering, that's growing. How can you expect all of those great things when you don't know who you are? And all I'm asking in this particular podcast, for you to dig deep. What I do is I journal. I journal and I document my self-growth. I journal and I document my failures. I journal and Why? Because I want to go back a year from now and I want to see on this very day, where was Dr. MV's mind? Where was I? What was I thinking? Where was I at? Because that helps me intentionally move forward. Because I'm not going to just be on this planet just taking up space. My dash has to mean something. And I know that I'm a good thing. I know that I'm a great woman. And I know that I will be a great wife to a great husband one day. But until that day, I'm not sweating the opportunity of marriage. See, it will find me in a due season, in a due time. I'm doing me until that day comes and manifests in my life. And I encourage you people, you have to learn how to do you. Hey, this is your girl, Dr. MV. You have just tuned in to WGSN-DB Radio, Going Solo After Dark. Please check out my website at www.drmv.net. If you want me to come and speak at your engagements, check out my website. Listen to more podcasts. It's on my website. It's also on www.goingsoloafterdark.com. Check us out, people. Your girl, Dr. MB, people. God bless you. Peace.